What's a glitch in the matrix you've used to coast through life? I got moved to a team on the second floor. My desk was on the fourth floor. I stopped coming to work. The fourth floor team thought I moved downstairs. The second floor team thought I was still upstairs. I just worked from home instead, for over a year. A while ago, I read about a forgotten employee who coasted by on a job he didn't understand. It was supposedly a true story. The author explains how they'd worked in a company for years, and at some point they were moved to a new position within the same company. When he moved to the new position, no one really told him what the position actually was and what he was meant to be doing. After a week and then a month, he still didn't know, and it was too late to ask. So he was just filling time by coming into work and messing around all day. It had a bit about him getting a call from another company employee in a different city with the same job title. The author tried to pretend he knew what his job was before realizing the other guy was doing the exact same thing as him, and only called to try and find out from the author what the job might be. Whether it was true or not, it was a funny read. The article was called Forgotten Employee. Here's the quote. "The next day, I showed up at work with a new purpose in life. What I'd come across was even better than having no job. I now have a job with no responsibilities." So there's a local convenience store called Sheetz. A new store opened and they gave out sheets of 5 free coffee coupons. After a while, they just had them sitting out in a pile for you to grab. I asked one day if I could grab 2, and she said, "You can take the whole stack for all I care. We have a ton of those." So I did. I procured myself 500 free coffees. Sheetz also has a rewards program. Every 10 coffees you buy, you get a free one. Every time I use a coupon, it still adds a coffee to my 10 count. I currently have 30 free coffees on my card and still a small stack of free coupons. Sheetz is the best. One day the whole world will know that name. Not if that's their business strategy. A certain popular pizza chain in the UK once royally effed up my order, and head office sent me a voucher for a free pizza. Any size. I've had it for nearly a year now, and the delivery guy has never asked for the voucher, so I've had a lot of free pizza. So you just kind of say, "I have a voucher for pizza" over the phone, and they trust you? Usually the guy on the phone doesn't have a clue. He puts me on hold, and then the manager asks a few questions, and every time they explain that I need to give the voucher to the pizza delivery guy. I never give the voucher, I'm never asked for the voucher, I've never been contacted about the voucher. I've used it on 2 to 3 stores, but I space it out because I'm scared they'll remember me. This is the sweetest deal, but these people eventually get found out most of the time, as the person in the next story can attest. Until last year, I'd been using an unrestricted free Big Mac coupon that I found on the internet. Not sure if someone edited it to remove the date or if they merely left it as an oversight, but I'd get a Big Mac every week and claim that I'd won a book with 52 of them. Eventually, a manager called my bluff and sent the coupon to someone higher up. Came back next week and saw it framed with a caption, "Longest running scam." I turned around and walked out. Once, cardamom pods were for sale at a local grocery, but instead of being $14.95 per ounce, the computer messed it up and they were $1.49 an ounce. I bought a lot of cardamom, and I made a lot of sweet buns. Thug life. There was a snack machine next to a soda machine. When you bought a snack, the soda machine would spit out a Mountain Dew. Another job had a soda machine where if you hit the button repeatedly after putting in your money, you'd get multiple sodas. A certain grocery store chain will offer you twice your money back if they sell you expired goods. While shopping, I specifically look for expired items, buy them and then return them to the customer service for double my money. Sometimes they give me cash, other times they give me gift cards to the store. I'm fine with either. I bet the company wouldn't even mind if they found out you were doing it intentionally. They've essentially hired you to clean the store of expired goods, and probably, from their perspective, not paying you a ton of money to do it. Yeah, my employer HEB just ended their out-of-date guarantee in May. It was if you found an expired item, you'd get the same item for free. We had a lot of people that took advantage of it, but even so, my manager explained to me that if they're able to find that much expired product on our shelves, that means things aren't being rotated correctly, and therefore someone we pay isn't doing their job correctly. So why not give the customer some sort of compensation for doing a job we should be doing, keeping expired product off the shelves? I downloaded LimeWire Pro off LimeWire. Holy crap, people still use LimeWire? I was using that back in the 5th grade, early 2000s, I think. A global hotel chain ran a promotion a few years ago where they sent a link to book a night's free stay. There was nothing to stop you from using the link repeatedly. I was stuck at Union Station in DC during Hurricane Sandy, and I used that glitch to house a lot of fellow stranded travelers. They either figured it out or the promo ended, but it went on for 9 months. Years ago, I was a cashier at a grocery store, and there was a glitch where the really expensive fancy ice cream that cost about $8 scanned as $2. All the cashiers knew about it, and we'd regularly buy a ton of the stuff. Very few customers bought that kind of ice cream, and if they noticed it scanning cheaper, we'd just wink at them. It went on for months until anyone noticed. I found out that the Target near me was only charging $8 for silverware that I think was supposed to be $28. I bought 2 sets of them, then went to another Target for a third, but that one charged me full price. I returned to the first Target, then went back the next day and got it for $8. Now I have so much silverware I can't even fit it all in the dishwasher. If you push the Diet Orange Fanta button on the drink machine on the second floor of my dorm building, it instead gives you 2 bottles of water and sometimes lemonade. I decided to buy a chocolate orange at a local supermarket, took it to the self-checkout, and it scanned with the value of 1 pence. So I got my friends to run back and clear the shelves of chocolate oranges and bring them back to the till. Got 30 chocolate oranges for 30 pence. I used to work for a web host. We had a referral program that tracked your customers by cookie. I had set up a referral site for myself and showed a coworker without thinking about it. From then on, whenever a customer would sign up over the phone with him, it earned me about $50. There was a gumball machine at the grocery store that would spit out 4+ pieces of candy if you turned the crank really slowly. Yeah, some old ones had a very simple scoop and dump mechanism, and they just locked after a revolution, so if you held it just right, there would be a hole there and you could shake a ton of candy out. Public transit in my area sells day passes for $9. I've used the same day pass for 2 years. When I was basically homeless back in high school, I'd get day passes from a shelter to go to school. I was often able to use the same one without getting the months or days punched out for multiple days, depending on how much of a crap a given bus driver gave. Not too long after I figured that out, I could punch the holes in the date areas halfway and fold the paper back just a little, so it looked properly punched and therefore valid. Every day I would fold the used day back and tape the backside. Thus I could use a ticket for a whole week or 2. I'd use the extras I got to give to trolley cops who would scrutinize tickets and passes and otherwise reuse the same ticket over and over. I've been gaming the free stuff for your birthday racket for several years. Most of the restaurants and businesses don't check for your actual birth date, so I use different months with different businesses so the discounts and meals are spread through the year. To be fair, as long as he's only claiming a single birthday with each business, it doesn't matter that he's giving different businesses different dates. No one's ever called me out on it, but as long as I'm not trying to get more than 1 birthday deal a year, why would they care? I rarely celebrate my birthday on the actual day anyway. It's December 27th, and if it's a weekday, I have work. This is a man who has decided that if Christmas is going to steal the thunder of his birthday, he's going to steal more birthday thunder from all his local restaurants and businesses. I don't approve, but it has a fun, petty supervillain quality to it. You know how I keep exploiting my glitches in the Matrix? I never tell anyone what I'm doing. Worked at a popular pizza chain some years ago. Automated phone system had a glitch that told customers we were closed an hour before we actually did close. Never corrected it because I can do tasks to close the store on time. One vending machine at my school would give you $4.50 in change when purchasing a $2.50 bottle of pop with a $5 note. A $10 or $20 note would give correct change. 50 cents for a bottle of pop. Yes, please. I once bought a $1.50 bag of chips from a vending machine. I paid with a toonie, which is a Canadian $2 coin. It gave me back 10 quarters, $2.50 in change. So I made $1 off a bag of chips. Even the vending machines are nice in Canada. I have a lot of traffic lights on the first mile or 2 of my drive to work, so I leave at 6:55 and I get to work 15 minutes early because I catch blinking yellows. I used to leave at 7 and get there just on time, and any extra traffic made me late. When I was 13 or 14, I had a sweet tooth and no money for sating it. Luckily, all the kids at the private school I went to did have money, so my best friend and I devised a plan to separate them from that money. Every morning before school, we'd go into the local co-op, buy various snacks, chocolate bars, flapjacks, crisps, etc., and take them to school in our bags. Then we'd run a small black market out of our lockers during breaks. There were no vending machines in the school and very few snacks available from the refectory. so we were completely in control of the market and made a lot of money. One year, this went into overdrive for Easter, making us over 400% our usual profit due to a pricing error at the coop. 6 Cadbury cream eggs were being sold for £3.99, giving us a $2 profit when we sold them for £1 each to our eager peers. But 12 cream eggs were only £3.69, giving us over £8 profit per pack. With cream eggs being a seasonal item, they were immensely popular at school. After a month or so, regrettably, someone picked up on the error and corrected it in their system. When we walked up to the till with 4 12-packs each, we discovered they were now priced at £6.99. So I assume they should have been all along. Luckily, when our faces fell and we explained they were only £3.69 on the shelves, the cashier rang them up at their shelf price. The next day, they were back to their usual price, though, on the shelves and system, so we went back to our old ways of scamming slightly less money out of our peers. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out Easy Mode, also linked below, and subscribe. When I was a kid, the soda machine at the pool didn't recognize when you'd hit the coin return. You could just cycle the same dime through the machine enough times and then make your selection. You'd even get your dime back at the end. When I was 7 on Halloween, I dressed up as Batman, then hit all the houses in my neighborhood. It was only 8, so then I dressed up as Spider-Man and got all of the houses again. Double the candy, mother effers. I miss all the candy, so I'm thinking of trick-or-treating this year as an adult. Not really a glitch, but I found out I could fit my arm into the vending machine at college and pretty much cleared out the bottom shelf. Fish and chips shop near my house. Gumball machine inside. Put money in and turn for 9 clicks. Hold dial in position. Flick a few times just underneath the dial. Turn for 1 more click and hold in position. Gumballs will continue to be released for as long as you hold it there. $1, unlimited gumballs. How could you possibly learn that? He started with 1 click. I had a Pepsi machine at college that ate people's change returns. I figured out how to get it unstuck and usually ended up with a soda and $4 every time I went to it. My Sprint phone gave me a Wi-Fi hotspot without me paying for it for about a year. I updated the firmware and lost the functionality, so I called Sprint to ask what was wrong. I was supposed to be paying for the Wi-Fi ability, $30 a month, and the lady asked if I'd been using it for the past year. I hung up, saved myself $360 without even knowing. My old job had a pretty high turnover in terms of managers, so none of them really had time to learn the intricacies of our building, nor the abundance of legacy and experimental job titles that people had been assigned. As the lone stockroom attendant, I used my knowledge of the basements and the fact that no one, including me, knew what the heck I was supposed to be doing, to go and have naps or generally hide and do nothing for most of the day. Purchased a 3-day trial for a website, cancelled it on the 3rd day. Access to the site remained active for the next 7 years. All I get from my internet provider is internet, but they do provide cable TV. So I thought, what would happen if I plugged my internet cable into my TV? Well, now I get basic cable for free, like 50 to 70 channels. I never use it though. Children think Netflix is the way TV is supposed to be. F all of those commercials and not picking exactly what you want on TV. They just didn't put a filter on your line. The cable guy messed up either when disconnecting previous service or setting your new service up. Your internet traffic operates on a different frequency than the video traffic. The filter gets rid of the cable TV transmission, so it's easy to remove them too if you know what you're doing. All you need is a way to get into the box, the keys are available on eBay, and a coaxial barrel connector to replace the filter. You might want to take a wrench too because the connections can be hard to break if it's been on for a while. My college gave out 10 free rubbers if you show school ID, but they don't scan it or anything, so I sometimes on the weekends would come in every 20 minutes, getting more and more protection until I had a stockpile. Then at night I would go around to parties selling them for $1 each. I feel like every university I've been to provides hundreds of free contraceptives if you know where to go. Then again, it's also a very typical move to go to a party without one of the hundreds that you have stashed away in your room, so fair play. WinRAR. Or is it supposed to be free? Wait, there's a paid version? Sam's Club once gave out a coupon that gave $5 off any cheese. All of their cheese at that point came in sub-$5 increments, and they didn't take the coupon at the end, they only scanned it. That weekend was the first wine and cheese party I'd ever hosted. In high school, I would go to the attendance office and say I needed to go home. The attendance lady would give me the phone to call my dad so she could talk to him to verify. I would instead call my deep-voiced friend and he would excuse me. Then he would go in about 30 minutes later and call me. Worked over 20 times and we were never caught. Best part, it didn't count as a missed class because it was excused. Nice job. You got out of a free education. Back in the day, there was an awesome MUDD called Dragon's Gate on AOL that was something like $2 an hour to play. It had a great community and it was a ton of fun. This was in dial-up days, so if you purposefully slowed your connection down by downloading something and logging into the game, you could hit spacebar on a sign-in screen a crapload of times and it would open up 2 screens. Just close the first one and it signs you out while still being connected, and you can play through the second screen for free. The best part was all the hate from other people on the forums when the glitch finally got outed. My first job in high school. I'm a habitually early person, so I found out that the time clock system would let me clock in 5 minutes early. I later found out that I could then clock out 10 minutes early and I'd be paid for all 5 hours. Another guy, an older man, worked 8-hour shifts and would save his 2 15-minute breaks, union job, and half-hour lunch and do his shopping for the week in his last hour. Now, I'm a truck driver. I'm home every day, so I don't really need the half-hour break we have to take, so I take one that logs in my book as a half-hour. I think this is a glitch that the company might know about, as so many local people talk about it. Okay, the shop is Waitrose in the UK. Big chain supermarket. They do various deals where a product is £5, but if you buy 3, then you get all of them for £10. Now, the glitch works when they reduce the product as its expiry date is near. So, now the product is down to £1, regularly less. The thing is, if you still buy 3 at the reduced price, the offer still kicks in and it takes £5 off your bill. The last time I did this, I noticed that a bag of potatoes was reduced to 30 pence, but it was buy 3 for £5. I ended up buying £9 of potatoes and got the rest of my shopping for free. Wine, beer, pizza, all free. You just have to make sure your bill does have a positive balance in the end, even if it's only pennies. I go down near closing time 3/4 of the nights a week and get this deal. It doesn't always get you the extra free stuff, but you usually get the 3 products for free. The products can be fresh meats, vegetables, fruit, and the pre-made meals like spag bol and pizza. In Counter-Strike Source, you can get outside the map in DE Piranesi and Counter-Strike Spawn. I sometimes just glitch outside of it and kill people from spawn. It freaks a lot of people out. You monster. I'd paid for a relatively slow internet connection, but I used it to get about 10 times faster internet with unlimited data. It was fun for a while. I wrote a program in Python that pretty much does my job for me the first day I went there. I do nothing at work all day besides Reddit and fun side projects with code. I got a TI-85 calculator from a thrift store for $1. I'd do the same thing with math work at school. If I know the material well enough to write a program to do it on my calculator, I figured it was good enough. I did this in DOS batch many years ago. I had one physical task which took about 3 minutes a day and everything else could be largely automated. Free glasses from Coastal.com. They have a free first pair deal, so you just keep making new Gmail addresses and use the coupon code. They don't check the shipping address, plus you can claim it's for family members or roommates. All you have to pay for is shipping. I have like 5 pairs. I have a 25% off code that I use for travel I book online fairly often. It was supposed to only be valid for a specific time period. That time period went over a year ago, and the code still works fine on the website. I get 25% off my travel every time. I think my free 6-month trial of Amazon Prime for students was supposed to end 5 years ago. I'm still a student, so I don't feel too bad about it. In early college, some friends and I were in the student union food court getting some frozen treats from a vending machine. We noticed the digital screen that usually says, "Insert bills face up," or whatever said, "Test Vend." Basically, you'd push a button and it'd just give you that selection without putting in any money. We got so many ice cream bars that we were giving them away to random students as we passed by. When I was in college, the sign-up system for classes was paper-based. You could get into any closed section by having your buddy drop that section, even if he wasn't taking it. Also, there was a men's room at the head of the line. Sometimes, right before the doors opened for registration, there would be about 50 people in that men's room. The train to my work and back costs £3.40 a day, and the machines have had trouble taking change in the past, so for about 5 months I've decided to not pay for a ticket. The fine for not having a ticket is £20. As long as I don't get caught for a weekend a day, I'm golden. That was until they decided to put more inspectors on the trains. Getting guac at Chipotle. My local team never passes it down the line, so I never get charged for it. Man, my local Chipotle practically assigns an armed guard to my burrito when I ask for guac. Then I visit my sister in San Diego and a restaurant serves what would have been $45 worth of guac at Chipotle prices. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, or if you want some vibey music to put on in the background, check out Easy Mode. If you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot. Everything linked in the description.